Good evening, guys. Good night, good afternoon, good morning, whatever it is, wherever you are. Um, it didn't snow tonight, and to be honest, I don't have anything really planned or structured for this one around. Now that we're kind of past the point of like, what can the equipment do? What is it capable of, and what does that particular tone sound like? I'm just gonna kind of do little experiments like this one with some of the pedals, just see what can be created tone wise and just kind of play. Again, backing everything down to zero and building something from the ground up, just kind of seeing what sounds cool, running with it. What can I find? What does this do? What didn't I know that it did before? And really take a slower, more analytical approach to every single pedal that I've put on the pedal board now, as well as every pedal together. Once I get a chance to test it all, get the chain synced, and make sure that everything's working. I'll probably do that in the next couple of days here and get it velcroed down, secured the way I want it, and have the compact pedal board just complete. And then I won't have to move it again. Just plug it in and play it. That'll make things a whole heck of a lot easier. It's kind of complex in the way that I'm running it, in the way that I want to run it, so that it does what I want it to. And it's just going to take me some trial and error on that. Same thing I do with pedals, just with amps, and then I got to figure out which amp type sounds best. I'm probably going to use the Bugera, I'm not sure what it is, at first, because I don't want that rattly tone. I just want to be able to hear it as clean as possible, as loud as possible. Not loud, but at least as gain heavy as possible, or as distorted as possible. And the built-in compressor and everything that amp has is just going to be super valuable for metal tones and for just cool tones, especially with a reverb. So, that being said, let me turn you around here. Alright, we are outside. I'm right here. I got the door open, cracked a little bit so I can get the power source out here. And tonight, I'm going to be playing with Fathom. Now, as you can see, I do have it all plugged in, ready to go. I got our little mini rig right here. One pedal, one mini rig. Simple as possible. What I'm going to want to do at first, especially, is just make sure there's no effects on. We're going to take everything back up to its 12 o'clock stock position, just that way everything's balanced, right in the middle. Nothing's being favored from the time we turn the amp on. We're also going to go ahead, and being that it's dark and it's night, and like I said, we don't have no reason to be blaring this thing anymore. We're just going to take kind of a muted, well, not muted, but just kind of a calmer approach to looking at these pedals. It's not going to be in-your-face riffs. It's not necessarily, unless you want that. It's not going to be anything that, too overly technical to play. I'm really just going to be playing with the pedals. What can they do? What do the effects do? Like, I'm really more focused on the effects. General knowledge, building a pedal board of your own. What can it do? What can't it do? What didn't any other review show you that it could do that it actually can? And we'll just kind of go through it and explore. So, without further ado, I guess I'm going to get set up and sit down and get started with this guy. Alright, so I have got us some light, which, definitely helpful out here in the dark. So let's go through just general, damn, this thing's dusty. Let's go through a couple just general knobs. Knobs are on every pedal. They all have knobs. They all do something. Let's see what this one does as it pertains to the Fathom here. All right. First and foremost, we got a decay knob. That's gonna be this guy, right here. Right here. What that's gonna do is when you do have a reverb channel going, it's doing that wah 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 kind of thing. The decay is gonna control how long that wah 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 continues to reverberate. That's what a reverb does. So if you want it to be a quick kind of like a wah 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 kind of thing, you're gonna want to leave it kind of on the lower side, probably down here, I'm guessing. And if you want to go like crazier, bigger, longer, sustain it for longer, make it wilder pattern wise, then you're probably gonna want to mess with this guy. Again, I'm gonna back it all the way down to just straight 0, nothing. And instead of using a time scale, I'm just gonna go 1 to 10 from here on out. Make it simpler. So 1, 2, and so on is what I'm going to end up doing. I'm not going to try to make any kind of time adjustments or any kind of likenesses. It's just going to be 1 to 10. Alright, dampen basically is going to take the tone and it's going to compress it. So if you want it to be brighter, you're going to go ahead and leave it down here. If you want your reverb tone to be brighter, you're going to leave it down this way. And if you want it darker, you're obviously going to roll it all the way back that way. It's going to dampen the tone. It's like, yeah, a paper towel. You get it wet, you're going to dampen it. There you go. Your mix, which is going to be similar to the HM2 with the color mix. It's going to do your mid level, basically, is what it's going to do. So it's going to cut it in or out, whichever way you want to go. Again, I'm assuming this is the treble side, and we're going to build it. I really have not played with this pedal much, aside from like a couple times at Guitar Center. I haven't had a chance to really sit down and go through the whole thing. We have X plus and minus. Now, X plus and minus, I'm guessing is going to be a param, which is going to control the speed or rate at which it reverberates. So it could be your general reverb, and I'm thinking it can probably roll up to more of like a tremolo phaser type of deal, and or and back, depending on what you want to do. Also have a scoop here, which is blah, 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 blah. There it is. Sorry, let me get my finger out of the way. It's called a mod. High, medium, and low. I'm assuming it's a scoop. It's something that's gonna just cut frequencies or octaves and give you, different octave or different scooped or different sounding reverbs. And then we have program over here, which again is elusive. Didn't really tell you a whole lot going on. I'm not even pointing at anything right now. But we got P, which could be for pulse. Let's go with that. We got H, high, sure. What do we got over here? We got fucking, read that. That'd be cool if I could. S, so subtle. And L, I'm going to go with low. So I'm going to go with poppy and subtle is what I'm going to go with P and S. So if you're looking for something that's going to be already pre-programmed to be higher mid, higher treble, I would go probably on the poppy side. If you want something that's going to be softer, I would go, over here to S. And then you got a high low, so I'm assuming those two are kind of middle of the roads between where P and S would go without you having to do any of this, really. It's just presets that they've built into the pedal circuitry. Kind of cool thing with this one too is it does have a built-in sustain, so it's a reverb and a sustain pedal. That's right here. So you're not gonna get a light indicator or anything really with this. The only one you're gonna get is from the true bypass, which is gonna do. Let me get some darkness here. It's gonna do this, and then again, when you're pressing this, it pulses it, as you'll see if you hold it down. I do remember it. Oh, yes. Okay, so it's not just a sustain. You hold the button down with your foot, and see how it kind of... Here, let me get some darkness. It's actually blue. Let me get some dark here, if I can. See how it's kind of... See how it's changing when I hold it down, and then it kind of dims its way out. I mean, it's subtle, but it happens. So the longer that you hold this down, the longer it's going to express that sustain, and the longer it's going to hold your notes out. So no matter what you're doing, if you want it, you could do it that way. I don't think that it'll automatically turn on any kind of a sustain when you touch it like this. There doesn't appear to be any way to lock it in place. So it's just it's awesome. It's actually better than if it were the opposite. But this is the function of it. All right, so I'll go ahead and turn this off. Set it down. Again, everything's gonna be low here. Basically taking all my knobs again, and I'm just rolling them all the way out, all the way flat, just nothing, not all. So when I do turn this amp on, boom, like that. Okay, we've got the bass here. As you can see, I'm hitting nothing right now. Give me a second here. Pick this guy up. They're all tangled in cables and stuff here. Alright, okay. So, let me get this over here with me. And get this over here with me as well. I'm not going to touch any parameters yet. Just going to get myself a clean tone out of this going. Real quick. Just non-bypass, whatever. Just something. They're both at 12 o'clock right now on the amp. That's what I'm trying to achieve, a clean tone out of this. Which shouldn't be an issue. like that. It's not an issue. You just, yeah, everything's hooked up properly. Now, when I say everything's hooked up properly, when you're plugging in a guitar pedal, here we go, right here. So you have your 9-volt power supply, the little skinny guy there in the middle. That's going to go to a wall. With boutique pedals like these ones, you're going to want to make sure it has like an outlet transformer, electro-harmonics type adapter pedal right there. You're going to want that as far as plugging directly into the wall. You're going to want your instrument cable, which, like I said, guys, I'm going to use whatever I'm taking away from the instrument as a reminder is going to be green. So green means go. So anytime you see green coming out of any of my pedals, it's going to be going to the bass guitar, no matter which bass it is. It'll always be the Fender Festival cable with the hemp green here, and green means go. So that being said, coily cable is going to the amp. It's black. It goes to the amp, and green cable to the bass. So these ones are awesome. I love enclosures that have it on the top. It saves you a ton of space and allows you to do a whole lot more with your board than you can with ones that have it, typically on the sides. It's just, even if you use a 45, it's clunky, most of them. There's one company I've seen, it's like Tour Design Products or something like that makes flat cables for them. I haven't had a chance to order any or try them out or anything yet, because we don't have them anywhere local. But I do want to get a chance to do that. It's really cool. It's basically like this connection here, with this little swirly cable. It's just like a nice flat flush connection that doesn't get in your way, and it doesn't impede the other pedals that you're trying to do. So if you've got a bunch that you particularly like to use, or you're using a home rig setup where you don't plan on moving it, you're just an enthusiast that loves to have fun and create cool tones and collect pedals, and just like me, somebody that enjoys doing that and doesn't necessarily right now get paid to do any of this. I mean, all this is my gear. None of this is sponsored. Everything is stuff that I've collected over the years, traded for, worked for, bought, been gifted. A lot of this stuff, it's my collection, is what this is. None of this is, nobody's sponsoring any of these videos. I pay my phone plan. Okay, thank you. So, yeah, basically, all this stuff is me, just kind of sharing with you my experiences, what I like, what's cool, what's not. And I'm not even gonna bother you with what's not. So anyway, let's get right into this, because I know I'm wasting your time here. We're outside right now. It is nighttime, as we can see. Kind of pretty. I did turn the light on, but if you want to, which I'll probably do it anyway once I do get settled in and I start actually playing the reverb, I'll probably go ahead and turn this off. You can still see out that way, and once I do get this LED on, it should be bright enough at least for you to see where the pedal is. I mean, it's right there, you know what I mean, as it pertains to the amp. As you can see with this particular pedal, which I really, really like, is that it did make the effort to make the LED brighter. I know it might hurt your eyes a little bit there, and I apologize, but I did want to emphasize the fact that it is so bright. So, excuse me, in low light situations, if you're in a studio or if you're in a club, if you're at home, if you're only able to practice at night, and you, for some reason, you're just still fucking with candles, yeah, I mean, like this right here is going to be something that, for me, my benefit to this is that it's a lot of these guitar pedals that I've chosen, hand selected for this pedal board, have different colored LED lights. For me, it's like an instant recall kind of thing. I don't have to question where the Walrus Audio Fathom is, because I know where that light is. So if I'm in a dark ass club and all I can see is this, there's like smoke machines and shit going. I mean, I'm not a fucking rock star, but I mean, if I've got all that going on and I'm looking around and we've got an interlude and I've got some time and I really want to switch out of my pedals, do whatever I got to do, then I mean, a safe bet for me to do is just, walk into the light. You know what I mean? If I can't see it. But being that I can see it, we're not in that setting. We're just hanging out here, Bob and Roxy's backyard. And we're gonna test this thing out, just try to make something sound cool in the rain. And I'm probably not gonna talk too much more out of this. one, honestly. I'm not going to talk about like what shit does what. I'm not going to talk about settings on this. I mean, if you want to ask me, I can do a full, and I will eventually do a full review on this after I finish the Hoof Reaper, because I'm going to do the Reaper and then for fuzz and overdrive, and then I'm going to do the Blue Sky for brighter reverbs, and then I'm going to do this guy again for deeper reverbs, like kind of, you know, heavier reverbs for more metal applications and stuff. So this one will be really cool for that, down the road a little bit with distortion especially. But for right now, I'm really just going to play the fucking thing. I haven't yet. It's been a day, and I would like to just play with a pedal for a while. Matter of fact, let's just do... Hold on a second here. You know what, we're out here in the rain right now. I'm gonna just do this. Hold on. Trying to see if there's anything I can do to make this cooler. Give me a second here. Alright, so this actually I really like. You can kind of see the flash of the TV on inside through the glass door, so that's going to give kind of like a lightning effect. It's dark already, and I plan on turning off the light eventually into the playthrough, and just listen to the rain. You know, let me build some cool noises. Let me know what you think of them. If you hear anything that sounds cool and you want to know how I did it, I'll find it, or we can embellish anything that kind of inspired you. Yeah, I'm just gonna get into it. Fathom is on now, but all parameters are down, so we're getting no reverb effect. Alright, so I'm just going to start adjusting knobs and everything. Excuse me. It's starting to get kind of cool. I like it. At least in that portion. It's not too much. This knob that I'm turning right now is pretty much cutting the attack and the sustain, so we're not lasting too long. Again, that was that one knob I was talking about that kind of makes the walrus stop. I'm just going to keep playing around with it. To show you basically how to turn, with any reverb pedal, how to turn a bass guitar into an organ. A lot of people play gospel, they play folk, they play things where you don't necessarily have space, room, or talent for a full-size piano, so let me show you a couple of little things you can do that are fun. One thing I'm going to recommend you do is start with a little volume on your guitar, or on your bass when you do this. The bass is a guitar, technically it's just a bass guitar. So, turning the volume down a little bit, what it's going to do is allowing you to kind of control the level on the pedal at the same time. Because as you can see, as soon as I hit that, even though it wasn't anything, it's got a lot of gain. I did go ahead for this because it is a smaller amp and because I do need the sound to be able to record it for you guys and kind of give you dynamics of it. I do have the Katana Mini all the way gain cranked all the way, as well as volume all the way up, but I didn't change any parameters, so bass, treble, and mid are all just sitting at the top, and I'm not using the delay feature at all. This is all just audio straight from a digital amp with no vibration to a walrus audio fathom. I'm sorry. I'm just tooling around with it right now, making cool stuff that I think is kind of cool and like building on it for a little bit. Just to give you a broad generalization of what it can do, and then I'll get into more dynamic responses once I do dial them in for myself. But yeah, just gonna keep going. And it's pretty standard in most of them. If there's a particular tone that any guitar effect pedal is known for, that you hear in a review, primarily most of the time that you do not see the controls of, or you do not see them alter the controls of, most of the time, a lot of that can be controlled by going ahead and just turning every knob, every parameter, all the way up. Just turn them all the way up, just all the way up. And then you're going to adjust the level a little bit, and you're going to adjust the amount of gain a little bit. Realistically, is what you end up doing. That's just going to give you
the desired tone the representative tone that the manufacturer attached to the particular device, and then then you go back into the mix back here, and what you're going to want to do is you're basically working backwards. So one thing I do recommend doing is deciding now which one is going to be easier for you. Would you rather move forward and build the tone as you go, or would you prefer to work backward and make the tone more mild as you work in, and you just find those expressive tones right off the bat. I mean, without even adjusting everything and really going through my process and going step by step through each knob, and doing each thing, and doing each this, and doing each that, and doing each option. I do that because I want to be able to show people how to do things. I want to be able to help, and I want to be able to teach other people how to help. But if you really just want to play with an effects pedal, and you want to get right into it out of the box, turn it all the way up, all the way up, all the way up, everything, every knob, just turn it all the way up to its max, and then just start backing out the level and whatever gain version they have here. Like this pedal has, it's got decay, and then it has, on this side is, it's mix. So I'm doing the mix and the decay, really, and everything else is just cranked up. Even right now, the decay is all the way. So with the decay all the way, and everything all the way except for the mix is at probably about 6 right now. I would say 6 or 7. I'm able to put this. Okay, so this right here, the fathom is, again, when you think fathom, you think the bottom of the ocean. And that's kind of what this pedal is about. It's about giving you a deep, spacey, not bright, poppy reverb, like a lot of digital reverbs do. This one gives you the option to go on the darker side, which, as it pertains to metal, is a really valuable resource. So if you have this pedal at home and you're kind of not sure exactly how you're going to use it, I would recommend one of two options: either back it all the way down to 0 and build your way up, or just crank it all the way to max and back your way down on those two particular knobs. If you're not sure which ones they are on your pedal, just send me a picture of it. I'll let you know. I'll go through and I can look at it and know exactly what everything does. For most pedal types, there's not many I haven't seen. And we will get more into the fathom again soon. Next one's going to be the hoof reverb, like I said. That is 2 fuzz pedals and an analog octave up in the same small lightweight box. Phenomenal pedal, and that will complete, at least for the moment, my little series on overdrive and distortion. Only because they require a louder setting. I mean, it's not something that's relaxed or chill. We're not sitting out here in the rain, just kind of playing with the pedal. But I will get more into that. It is a style I do enjoy, but it's not the only thing I know or enjoy playing. I love all styles of music and being able to create them, and that's what really kind of really got me sparked into guitar pedals and into effects and into amplifiers and things like that. The parts that, not just the guitars, everything else, the quote-unquote gear, really got to me, because, I mean, a guitar pedal in itself is a feat of microengineering. I mean, to build something like this took years for somebody to dream this and to think about it and to draw it and to sketch it. And I mean, I know nowadays you print the boards and all the little circuits and things like that, and it's a lot easier of a process, but originally somebody had to create a reverb, and they thought, instead of having to have a reverb amp, wouldn't it be cool if there were a way to have reverb and still have the same amp, so you didn't have to buy another one. And for me, that's something that, the innovative music, it created opportunities for people to do things differently with their instruments. Not put themselves in the box of, yes, I'm a bass player, and yeah, I gotta play these 4 notes, and, I guess I'll be over here for a while, everybody else over here having fun, and, and you don't want to jump in, you don't want to do solos, you don't want to lead because, you're a bass, I'm not supposed to do that. Well, I mean, really, art is entirely subjective. There's not really anything in music that you are or are not supposed to do, unless you're in an orchestral setting and you're going to mess it up for everybody else. But if you're at home with me and you're having fun and you're an enthusiast and it's something you enjoy, just have fun with it. there's any way I can help you have fun with it, or if there's some piece of gear that I have that you've been looking at online and you're like, hey man, it'd be really cool if I could see what this thing does. Like, is it worth it? Or is it worth the money? Is it worth trading for? Do you know anybody that might be interested in trading this for that? I mean, just ask, man. I'd be more than happy to help anybody. That's kind of what this channel is about. And if somebody asks you, you'll be able to let them know, and so on and so forth, until, more people embrace playing instruments again. School programs are cut. Not a lot of people are playing. I see too many instruments just sitting around because people don't have the time to learn how to play, and especially not what they want to play. So I'm really hoping this series will start to help, and we can learn how to craft your tone too.